Well, awesome. And welcome to this newest edition of the Alliance Group podcast. And we have a great guest with us today, Miss Denise Do from Insuring Impact, all the way from California. Flew in last night from California.
Yeah, it was a great trip.
Well, welcome. And we're excited to have you here. So we'll just jump right into it. Denise, you've been in the life insurance industry for a few years now. What brought you to the industry? What was that moment in life that brought you into this business?
Well, I mean, being a life insurance agent, isn't that the dream job that everyone wants?
Right.
I've actually been doing life insurance for over a decade. And prior to this industry, I was actually in pre-med. I've been in healthcare for 10 plus years and thought I wanted to be a doctor because that's how I wanted to change the world and save a lot of lives. But this industry found me instead. So how it started was my little cousin at the time, she was, I think, 22, 23. She came to me and she said, hey, I basically trust you when it comes to money, when it comes to family. Can you look at this to see if this is going to be good for me and my family? So it was an opinion approach she used on me. And when it comes to money and family, it's something I really take seriously. So I was like, hey, I have a life insurance product. What do you mean there's something called living benefits? I researched my product. And then she brought her agent. And the funniest thing, right when I met the agent, the first thing I told her was, don't recruit me. Yeah. It wasn't even like, hi, my name is so-and-so. I was like, I don't want to be recruited. I'm here for my cousin. I'm here to see the fine print. Tell me what living benefits is. Compare my policy and see if this is good for me.
So was it love at first sight?
It was first, but I was in denial. I was like, no, this is too good to be true. There's no way.
Yep.
I'm smart. I'm in the medical field. I did my research on the current product that I have. I asked for so many second opinions. How come I didn't know about this?
And I have conversations with people even today, daily. I've been in this business 22 years now, talking about living benefits and how they work and how it's the new kind of life insurance and that kind of thing. But still today, CPAs, attorneys, professional people that have never, ever heard of what living benefits are and how you can have a life insurance policy you don't have to die to use. It's amazing.
That line alone, life insurance you don't have to die to use, it breaks people's brains.
Yep. It's awesome. So I think with every truly successful person, whenever it comes to this, they put their heart and soul into something because they're passionate about it. Mm-hmm. I've told my story many times. I'm not even sure if I've told it to you before, but one of the reasons I'm so passionate about living benefits and the protection that they provide is because of my mom's journey. My mom was diagnosed with cancer when I was a senior in high school, and we lost everything. We lost our house. We went through a medical bankruptcy. And my mom wasn't insurance poor. She had a health insurance policy. She had a great job. But really quickly, the expenses far outweighed the income that were coming in. She was a single working mom with 3 kids. And so from there, I kind of like what you were saying about your medical journey, I wanted to go cure cancer. That was what I wanted to do. So I was going to be a chemical engineer. And that actually didn't work out. I hated engineering. I hated calculus. And so that I kind of fell over into business and eventually met my mentor, Jerry Stratton, who taught me all about this and started me on this journey. So I know you have a similar experience. Do you mind sharing?
I don't mind. And actually, thank you for even the opportunity to share. It's one of those, it's scary to share moments like that because I don't think people go into life insurance because they want to. I feel it's honestly they were called to. It's now that I know better, how do I do better? It's shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? So I related to so many points of your journey. Let's even go back on trying to cure cancer. So at the age of 14, I was diagnosed with an ovarian cancer. Stage 1, stage 2 is a huge tumor. I got my right ovary removed. And then a few years later, when I was 17, they almost took my left one. Wow. And to me, that was a gift in a weird way in hindsight, just because you don't think about, oh my God, I want to be successful, make a lot of money. It's like I had a second or third chance to live. How do you want to leave an impact? And I just see life a little different. I think those who appreciate life insurance had to fight for their lives usually, one way or another, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what called me to the medical field. But the more I wanted to help people in the medical field, the more helpless I felt because money was such a challenge. I'm like, man, I want to give you this prescription or all these best modalities, but no one can afford it.
We talk about all the time about how experimental treatment is so expensive. It almost paralyzes you from being able to make the decision because I can't afford this. I can't do this. And that weighs on people during that time in their life.
That will kill you alone, just the stress. And I've seen so many things in the healthcare industry where I wish I knew about living benefits sooner. And also being raised by a single mom in Silicon Valley, San Jose, California, it's not cheap. And she got sick, and I'm the eldest of 3 kids. And this is where actually life insurance industry recruited me without even knowing, because I was actually praying and seeking for an opportunity to help out my mom who lost her income because she couldn't work. Here, I'm the eldest. I'm mommy number 2. I'm supposed to go out there and make money, but does medical school pay the bills? It does not. I'm like, okay, what can I do that's aligned with my values and integrity that I can do and go serve people and help out my family?
And making an impact, right? And is that how you got the name of your agency, Insuring Impact?
Actually, it just grew. Originally, our agency or our cool team name was Agents of Change. I always wanted a CIA secret op type of feel. So our vibe is very black and gold. We had numbers. We didn't ID ourselves because it's not about ourselves. It's always about others, and that's how we want to serve. And then Insuring Impact just came because Agents of Change, and then how do we want to make a change? And insurance, play on words. So instead of insuring is with an I. And then a movement became a brand, and then the rest is now we got to go with it.
Right.
We're going to go all the way.
That's awesome. I love leaving that legacy, that impact. That's where I'm at in my life, is to make sure that with my family, with my staff, with my the agents and the agencies that we're working with, to be able to help them and serve them, as you said. It's a passion of mine. Because I think it leads to so many good things. If I go into a conversation trying to figure out how I can help you, and how I can help Josh, how I can help Ryan and everybody else, then if I help enough people get what they want, I'll get what I want. That's where I'm at in life, and I think that it's a great place to be for sure.
And Lee, can I say something? When you say that, I genuinely feel and believe it to my core. Like I've been following you without knowing that I was following you, and I have this mantra or saying, when you take someone's opinion, you take their lifestyle. So when I look for leadership, when I look for someone that I want to align with, just in general in life, I see the fruits of your seeds, if you know what I mean, like your kids, your team, everyone around you is just a testament to who you are. So I'm just honored to just be here with you. Thank you for living that, being all about it, and showing us how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I love it. I really do. I love what I do. I love the people around me, and want to continue to help see them succeed. My word for the year, I'll share this with you, is mudita. And so mudita means getting joy out of other people's success. And
so how do you spell that?
Mudita. Mudita.
Mudita. Okay.
Yeah, getting joy out of other people's success. And so that's a theme that I've laid on the team this year, to really go into every conversation that we're having with agents and advisors and clients, trying to find ways to provide joy for them, and to get joy out of that experience that they're having.
May I ask you, how do you define joy? Like, what's joy to you?
I mean, energy, being happy, seeing the light, kind of going. I love seeing the light bulb in people's eyes whenever you're sharing something with them that they didn't know, and how that may change. And cause a ripple effect in their life with their family, with their business, with their the people that they're around. Yeah, I mean, just in general, smiling, right?
Yeah.
Smiling, laughing, right?
Joy.
Yes.
Mudita.
So what? Let me ask you this. So what you came to us, right? So that's probably like 6 months ago or something like that. We had our first conversation.
Something like that. Time's going by so fast.
And so. What attracted you to Alliance Group?
What attracted me to Alliance Group is, like I said, I've been following Alliance Group without knowing I followed y'all for the longest time. I believe in being a marketing company first and an insurance company second. Why? It's like if you had a cure for cancer, if no one knows about it, if the marketplace doesn't know about it, who are we really serving, right? And I just feel like there's a lack of awareness and just good marketing in kind of a very old, boring business. May I say that?
Yes,
I can say whatever I want here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I follow your content naturally without knowing. I've been sharing it, right? I just didn't know how to work with you, but I work with y'all indirectly. I share proudly. I love the videos, the testimonial, Living Benefit Larry, the cartoons. You indirectly influenced the last decade of my life without knowing. You made marketing a lot easier for me.
And then eventually you just said, hey, I should join this.
Yeah, or I didn't know how.
What are all the other things that they do that can help my business?
But also, I'm becoming a different person that I want to be in the industry. Before it was, hey, let's just be an agent or be a producer, right? And then you learn to lead teams. And then next thing you know, you're running a company. And then you're building a culture. And then you realize so many people depending on you. And you've met me at a really interesting point of my life where when I reached my decade 2-3 years ago, I had this epiphany. I realized I might, or I may be, or I am a single point of failure to my client and agent success. And I cannot die like that. Right? Like we work too hard. We believe in people so much, and there's just so many things we want to do. And not enough people know about living benefits, but less than 2%-ish. I just want to be faster in a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, and I know I couldn't do it alone. And when I realized clients and agents kept calling me kind of like for everything, I didn't want to be a hero anymore. I'm like, what if I don't show up? What if I'm not here anymore? What if I just want to take a vacation with my kids? You know, I love this industry, but it's not my whole life. I want to be a life agent with a life. I want tools. I want marketing. I want to attract more than I'm selling. So when I saw what you guys were doing, I was like, I want to be a part of that. Or how do I add value to it? Or how do we do this together? Because your messaging is very similar in every way. It was just very natural. So one of those God wink moments, just reach out and reach up and said, look, this is not about me. Sure, I can go out there and try to build on my own, make all the mistakes, but why not stand on the shoulder of a giant? And it makes me feel better. Inspired by the book called Who, Not How.
It's a great book.
Yeah, it's a great book. Instead of me saying, how do I do this? How do I build this? I'm like, who can help me? Because I know my strength. And honestly, my kids are young, 6 and 9, and I don't want my next decade to look like my last, right? It's very important to me to be present. So marketing, having tools, having the right team. I'm getting emotional.
Building that team around you, duplicating and replicating. That's the goal, is being able to share that knowledge that you have with other people and then helping them help more people. Yeah,
and I just feel very blessed to even be here and have the people and the team around us. It makes me feel joy. This is was it Mudita? Mudita. Say it again?
Mudita.
Mudita tears. I'm very joyful, so thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. We're really excited to have you on board with the team and can't wait to see what goals and things that you accomplish. So at Alliance Group, as you know, I think our slogan is "Together We're Better," and so this kind of ties into what you were just saying, and we live it, right? So we know we're just a marketing company without agencies and without agents like yourself. We have to help you in your business to gain clients, gain prospects, gain knowledge to be able to share with those prospects. So what are some of the ways that you're hoping our groups are able to work together and do that, becoming together, better together?
Yeah. I'm not even hoping, I'm knowing just how you treat us so far in our agency, and you really care about us, right? The culture it's amazing. It's something where I cannot wait to ripple it. And it's this natural alignment. What I love about partnering with Alliance Group is you want to highlight our brand and our agency and who we are. It's not like, hey, wave my flag. Right. This is it. You know, I'm your CEO. It's really, you're about us. And I've never felt like you had a hidden agenda. you honestly want us to win so bad, and
Great.
I believe it in my core. Yeah, and then co-create together.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you have a great marketing team, just a great team all over. So I'm glad that I can lean into it, lean on it, and it just really empowers us.
Excellent. Yeah, it's the team is great. The team is awesome for sure. So let's talk about this immense opportunity within this industry. So I talk a lot of times about how there's over 100 million people in the United States that are uninsured or underinsured. And if you take the people that are insured that don't have what we have and don't know about living benefits, it's an even bigger number.
Yep.
So how are you looking at that opportunity, and how much of the piece of the pie do you want in your agency?
Oh, that's a scary thing to say out loud, because public display of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
We have this, our vision is to impact 1 million families.
Wow.
Okay. How? Is by educating them on how to buy versus teaching agents how to sell. Mm-hmm. That's our true philosophy. To us, the best client is an educated client. And life insurance, the strategies within it, there's a lot. It's complex. People make it sound simple, which, okay, to kind of draw in.
Simple's hard.
Yeah, simple. Yeah, that's a good one. Simple is hard. That was profound.
But it is, and making it so, going back to what you're saying of educating that client so that they understand it, so that then they can make the decision. So I say all the time, education leads to empowerment, which leads to action.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah.
Let's take that one step further. And ensuring impact and how we're going to make a difference is our client is our agents. We're in the agent development business, developing their identity, their skill set, their mindset, their heart set, all of it. Because if the agent isn't educated, how can you even educate the client?
Correct.
And I just feel the industry lacks true education for our strategy versus pushing a lot of products. Mm-hmm. People are confused on, is this a marketing? Like, is infinite banking a product, or is it a concept? And there's just so many concepts out there that even agents are confused. So Insuring Impact, where we pride ourselves, is jumbo crayon. Like, we like jumbo crayon, simplicity. Like, let's take out the industry jargon. Let's really meet people where they're at. Our team is, I believe, in being very diverse. We like a lot of different type of messengers. We're multicultural. We are multilingual, even down to sign language. We don't want language to be a barrier to financial education or even wealth. To me, it's beyond financial literacy. It's wealth literacy, because the wealthy speak to me a different language than whatever class you want to call that. Yeah. And life insurance is such a tool in that. And we are very much middle America, and I think middle America is a huge piece of the pie.
It's the biggest opportunity in this industry. I think that too much the typical advisor in our shoes tries to go after the big case. Yeah. Tries to go after the ultra high net worth individuals, and things like that. But in what we've built our company around, I think you have as well, is serving middle income America and serving the people that are not getting educated, right? Because Charles Schwab and those kind of companies won't take them because they don't have enough assets, right? So we gotta help those individuals out, covering the foundation and to protect them. Yes. But then also showing them and giving them financial literacy on the things that they need to be doing today, so that their future self will thank them in the future.
And I know they're going to be so thankful. Most people don't understand life insurance or appreciate life insurance agents until they need us. Yep. Right?
Absolutely. So you talked earlier about Insuring Impact having a strategy focus versus a product focus. Yeah. Can you expound upon that?
Oh, yeah. We have a strategy that it's our heartbeat that we teach. It's called the OPM strategy, how to optimize, protect, and manage money. So we've somehow, I'm going to say somehow, and we've been practicing this for the last few years, and we have certified financial planners on our team, advisors, tax strategists. We have a collective genius. They went around and be like, how do we simplify financial services at the same time disrupt it? So we have this saying that, isn't life insurance the ultimate OPM, other people's money? Right. Like, why aren't we teaching that? It's a strategy. And when we break it down, where I came from, I grew up in the IUL world, right? And everything was IUL. It was like a one-trick pony. It was like, I know it can be tax-free retirement. It can be touch your money when you have a cancer, stroke, or a heart attack. And then it can be infinite banking. It can be a college. I'm like,
we like to call it like the Swiss Army knife of assets because it can do so many different things at so many different times in your life. So
good. Yes, the Swiss Army knife. But how do you know when to use a knife and when to use a toothpick? Right? It's simple is complex, like you said. And what we love to do is give people a North Star. Like, how are we designing this based on the strategy that you need? And from the strategy, we pick the right product. And then from the product, we know how to design properly. So we're taking an approach where we're helping people win the money game or have something holistic to build off of. And then we like to strategy stack and build insurance portfolio. It's not a one-trick pony. It was my aha moment, especially with the living benefits movement, is, wait, if I use living benefits, I lose my retirement. Or if I borrow against my policy, I lose protecting my family. I don't like being stuck on choosing what's important. It's all important to me. Why not diversify your portfolio?
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why we teach so much that the combo policy approach.
Yes.
I am not a buy term and invest the difference and only buy term. I am not a person that says you should put all your money into an IUL. I think there is a nice marriage blend that happens whenever you're talking to a client trying to decide and determine how much they need in protection, making sure that that's there, but then also guiding them along the way of start paying yourself, right? Put some money into an account that's going to grow, that's going to compound over time. And I describe it as paying yourself first. The reason the IRS doesn't wait to the end of the month to take their money is because they know you won't have it, right? So you have to treat your investments the same way. You have to pay yourself at the beginning of the month, because if you wait to the end of the month, you're always going to be having more month than money at that point in time.
Isn't that such a wealthy practice? Is paying yourself first, and then paying yourself interest, and then recapturing everything you spend.
Absolutely.
AKA that's infinite banking.
It's a wonderful thing when your money's working for you. And we all, I think in this business, it's easy to find ways to make money, right? But then it's educating ourselves as agents and as advisors as well to do what we say and actually do those things to pay ourselves and put some of that money away and get that money working for you. I think in my day-to-day, dealing with agents and advisors, some think that all those sales are going to continue to be there. They have to build that nest egg. They have to start building those things and growing those assets. I'm a firm believer, and it takes multiple people to build something great and build a successful agency in this industry. It's hard to do it alone. And I don't think anybody can do it alone.
And they shouldn't do it alone.
Right. And so you brought two great partners here with you, and Neal and Todd. So how did you guys come together? And then what are your superpowers, so to speak?
Ooh. Okay. So I've met Neal. We were in a previous company together, right? And we had mutual respect just as professionals. And what brought us together is Wing Chun. Are you familiar with Wing Chun? Do you know who Ip Man is?
Nope.
Okay. Bruce Lee's Sifu or master. Okay. So like the form of Kung Fu. So it's one of those things I started practicing, and I found out that he was into it too. So the first time we've met at a company convention in Vegas, it was literally 1:00 in the morning, and we started sparring in the middle of Vegas at the Wynn Hotel. And that's how we synced, because how I discovered Wing Chun as a martial art is it's about intention and boundaries.
Okay.
I discovered it through a meditation class.
Excellent.
Yeah. And, in this business, it can be really stressful, right? You're running a company that you have to make a lot of decisions. You're working sometimes long hours. So I needed to find something to bring me back to center and get balance. And Wing Chun was that thing, which connected me to Neal. And I'm just a nerd too, and I want to learn, and I constantly want to make sure I'm doing the right thing for clients. So finding out he's a certified financial planner, certified financial fiduciary, been in the industry for over 2 decades with a lot of experience. I'm constantly saying, hey, I know I'm not in the financial world in a sense like that way, but I'm in the life insurance side, which is part of financial services, but I'm usually the butt of the joke, right? Like you're the alphabet soup and I'm like right here. But I believe my identity as a financial service professional is up here.
Yes.
Give me the language, give me the lens. So he was like basically mentoring me, my advisor on the side. Am I doing this right? Is this the right language? And we really sharpen each other. And when we decided to go independent, it was one of those natural things like, hey, we just want to do it different. And what's cool, his company is called Retire Different.
Oh, cool.
And he has a really cool philosophy. I'll let him know. I'll let him share that with you later. And again, natural alignment is just something you just cannot deny. And we're really sharpening ourselves and pulling the best out of each other. And beyond Neal, there's Dung, Mercedes. There's a lot of people on our team who we're sharpening each other because we're here for the cause, right? Now, interesting story about Todd. Todd, we met a few months ago, and I was in that kind of moment where we met. I'm like, man, I think we have to do our own thing. I think it's about time because people kept asking, Denise, are you independent? Do you have your own brokerage? I was like, no, I'm, the executive vice president. I'm usually the right-hand woman or, that's just my role. I'm a really good team player. And they're like, why don't you do your own thing? I was like, that's a lot of responsibility that I don't know if I'm ready for. It's really scary, and I can still make an impact one way or another. But there's this calling for a legacy, right? This calling for marketing. I need tools. I need things so my agents can have a lifestyle. So I want automation. I want to make sure we're nourishing and nurturing the relationships that we have. So just seeking tools. And that's how we met Todd. Todd is one of, his background is he's been a very successful entrepreneur in multiple different ways. And marketing is his thing. And there was just natural alignment.
Yep.
And how we met, are you familiar with Zorb balls?
I think so, maybe.
I think it's weird. I know I'm throwing all this weird stuff at you.
Zorb balls.
We're going to diversify and spice up the conversation. So I get a random text. I met Todd through our one of our agents who's a CPA. Her name is Noctran. She's a great connector. And Todd used to run games for Google. And he had a business and one of his clients was Google, which is, in our backyard. And I get a random text like, hey, are you interested in 2 large Zorb balls? I'm like, who the heck is this? Can you imagine getting a text like, hey, are you interested in 2 large Zorb balls?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would respond to it.
Exactly, right? But I had the heads up from Noc to be like, hey, this guy's going to reach out to you. And I'm like, what's a Zorb ball? So if you can Google it or, in the middle of this podcast, do you know that big old ball that it's inflatable and you can go into it and roll around? Go inside of it.
Yeah.
So large meaning like 8 foot, like big. And I was like, do I really want that? Where am I even going to store this? Right? We're going to put it because he couldn't take it back to Utah. So he's looking to empty out his storage. His storage had all these games, and I love games. Like fun is my center. And I was like, what am I going to do with 2 large? It's huge. She's like, you're going to need a truck. And honestly, what I did, so Asian of me, I was like, well, how much is this stuff, right? Like, can I flip it? What do I do with it? Is it something that I can use for the team, for team building? It's almost like $2,000 each.
Wow.
So I was like, this perfect stranger has no idea who I am. He's willing to give me 2, to me, assets, right? I mean, I know this is a win-win. He just has a giving heart. And without knowing, we were kind of like examining each other's character. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, is this someone I would do business with? Who is this guy? But over and over and over again, before even talking business, just as a human being, he was a phenomenal human being. And without even knowing, he's great. He was exactly what I was looking for. I was like, you know this platform? You know how to code? You know how to do all this stuff? Do you know anything about life insurance? And he doesn't. So it's one of those, it was really refreshing to have someone who has built, 8-9-figure businesses, who've been an entrepreneur his whole life, to come in with new lens, to take life insurance strategies to the next level and play the marketing game. So that's how we all met. It's just through weird hobbies that I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I would agree with you that having people come in from outside the business is refreshing, and it changes the conversation. right?
10,000%.
Instead of we've always done it this way and we're going to do it this way, it's like, why not do it like this? Why not market this way? Why not?
Oh my God, you sound
have
like
this
him.
conversation?
I have a little bit of PTSD. Why not like this? How come you do like this? Because I was taught. But really, I have to really take a step back and start brand new. And we have the saying like Shoshin, right? Is the beginner's mindset is, like we got to be Shoshin. Like I'm going to start brand new. What worked 10 years ago is not going to work now. What worked during COVID isn't going to work now. I'm constantly, okay, how can we be better? Yep. It's not about us.
Absolutely. So of all of our staff, I'm trying to think now, it's 2 or 3. There are only 2 or 3 of the members of our staff were licensed before they were hired at Alliance Group. Cool. So they were not in the business at all, didn't know anything about the business. And like with Travis is like, him coming on board and being an intern first, he didn't need to know anything about life insurance. What I needed him for was his video marketing expertise. And it was a great marriage. And it reminds me of a story early on in my career where I was riding around in my partner's Cadillac. He had a big Cadillac and we'd drive all over the South going and visiting agents. And so he told me this story that, sometimes 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2. Sometimes it equals 3 or 4. And he told me, and I was 23 years old at the time. And, this guy that's been in the business for 40 years is telling me this. And he's like, Lee, you can't do alone what we're going to do together. And I can't do alone what you and I can do together. And he's like, literally with your drive, your experience of technology and marketing and things like that, combined with my experience, we're going to be able to get into rooms that you couldn't get in on individually. And so, that's the beginning of Together We're Better. That conversation 20 plus years ago is the beginning of Together We're Better. And so sometimes 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2. Sometimes it equals more than that. And that's what I think you have with your partnership as well. Oh yeah.
That book, a book can change your life. Who would know? I didn't start reading until I started insurance, honestly. I don't even know how I passed school. I can't even say it. I can't believe I said that out loud. But I guess it's things where it never interested me before, but learning the personal development books, the who, not how. I'm like, man, they say you want to keep a secret, put in a book. No one will really read it.
Right.
But I learned so much from that. When I realized you can have a team, I don't have to do it alone. Together we're better. Why not? Take the burden off. Let's, we're stronger together too. And I feel the industry can operate more like that in general, or just in business.
Right. I think so as well. So and that's great. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you guys more over the next couple of days, and then into the training that we're going to do as well. It's pretty awesome. So I'm a big goal person. I set goals. I have life goals. I have daily goals. I have monthly goals. I have quarterly goals. I have annual goals. And I spend a lot of time trying to spend a lot of time thinking about those things. But then the more you tell people what your goals are, I think you alluded to this earlier, is putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
So what are your goals for, short term, long term, 2025, and both personally and ensuring impact?
Being here live, even with you, I realize I've been saying something out loud without knowing I wanted to be it, or I'm called to be it, right? I love training agents, going out there making an impact. And I found myself saying for the few years, I want to be an industry leader and not just a company leader. What does that mean? Because I believe this industry needs to be disrupted. I think this industry is just in general, right? And imagine just having good people having a lot of money. How would our world look, right? And how do we protect that and grow that and multiply that? So when it comes to goals, and this was intentional, we want to be a $100 million company. And 2025, we're starting at 0. And we're going to document the journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, who was there for us, the mistakes we've made, so that this impact can last beyond us. Imagine, and this is why I love talking to you, even, our private conversations. It's like, Lee, like, what did you do? How did you do this? How did you prevent this mistake? Because I'm looking for a hand up, not a handout.
Mm-hmm.
Someone give me the playbook so that I can continue this journey, not just start all over and then lose our foundation.
Right.
Aligning integrity and philosophy. It's if we believe in foundational assets, everything's based on a foundation. That's an inside-out game.
It very much is. That's great. I allude to it sometimes when I'm talking to people that want to build, that are looking to build an agency, looking to grow an agency, is that I've done it, and I know some of the minds that are out there.
Yeah.
And let me guide you along that path so you don't step on this one. You don't step on this one. I can speak from experience, and maybe sometimes it's not a direct thing that I did, but I saw it.
Yeah.
Right. So we work with a lot of agencies doing business in a lot of different ways, and just taking all those experiences and being able to share it with you and saying, hey, this is how this agency did it. This is how this agency did it. And this is how they got from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. And I love sharing that. I really do. And I'm really looking forward to helping you accomplish that $100 million goal.
Yeah, it's eventually, I don't know when, but it's going to happen one day. Mm-hmm. I feel it in my gut. I just know it because I believe in our team and our mission and who we attract. It's amazing. And what we're doing together, if other companies can do it with less, why not?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So do you have any questions for me that you would like to ask in this particular podcast?
I'm gonna ask for the audience because I believe they deserve to know. Mm-hmm. It's your journey. Thank you for sharing about your mom and all that. I feel that that is in my why now. That drives my ambition because, and unfortunately, that story is so common.
It is. It's way too common.
It's way too common, and that's why we're on this journey together. I would love to ask you more questions on the journey of becoming a CEO of Alliance Group. Where did you start? I'm like, I felt your passion and hey, you wanted to have a cure for cancer, but now you have kind of like a financial cure for cancer, which is cool. Same thing, right? But if you don't mind sharing with us.
I started as an agent within Alliance Group. So I got my license in 2003, a month after I graduated from college. And like I said, met my mentor, Jerry Stratton. And I say all the time that you don't get into the life insurance business until the life insurance business gets into you. And that's happened to me over many different experiences in my career. But I go back to one, and I actually don't tell this story much. When I first started in the business, I graduated with a finance degree and from University of Georgia, great college, go Dogs. And so I graduated with this degree, and I was going to banks, I was going to financial institutions, and nobody was hiring at that point in time. It was 2003, right? Coming out of the crash. And everybody was saying, hey, you look good, you sound good. And there was a God moment in my life where I was going home to visit my mom for her birthday. And she was working late. She said, fend for yourself for dinner. So I went to this restaurant that I know everybody from the bus boy up to the owner of the restaurant and the bartender. And I sat down, and I met my mentor, Jerry Stratton, at that bar. And some of you guys listen to this is like, yeah, of course you met him at a bar, right? But it was more of a restaurant, right? Okay. So I ended up having dinner with him that night. And early on, I wasn't into the business, right? So it was more of, hey, I got this opportunity, I got a job, right? Yeah. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want to go back and work for my dad. So I was trying to prevent that. So this guy gave me an opportunity. I was like, I'm going to run with it. And so I did, and I started going out and doing appointments, talking to people about living benefits. And I sat down with this guy, and this is the story I wanted to tell you. I wanted to get to this point. Sat down with this guy, and I'm doing my presentation. At this point, I got my flip book, right? Mm-hmm. So all the, these are the benefits of this rider, and this is why you need to buy this policy. And I told a story that I was trained to tell in the presentation that talked about a lady that used her terminal illness benefit. This is a true story. Used her terminal illness benefit to get money to pay for a cancer treatment that eventually saved her life. And so I'm telling this story, and I say to him, and how ironic it is that something she bought in the event of her death actually provided her enough money to keep her alive. And so I said those words, and I looked up at the guy, and he's bawling. And I'm 23 years old. I didn't know what to say, right? So I just sat there, and he got up, enough, kind of collected himself enough to tell me why he was crying. And he said that the story you just said is very similar to what happened to my wife a couple of years ago. But we didn't have anything like this. There was treatments that we could have done, but we decided not to do them because of the cost. We didn't have the money. And I'm sitting here today wondering if my wife would have had this policy, would she still be alive today? Oh. And so then I started crying, and I tell him a story about my mom, and we ended up doing some paperwork that day, and he bought a policy, and he bought it because of that experience. And so I got in my car, and this was kind of had a cell phone and that kind of thing, but it was very early on, and I just sat there, and I thought, going back, my early college career, what I wanted to do was cure cancer. And what I realized that day, it literally hit me that day on an appointment with a random guy, that, hey, I'm not curing cancer, but like what you said earlier, I'm helping people pay for it. Yeah. And then on top of that, kind of expounding upon the career of then telling that story over and over again to agents and advisors that had the capability to advise clients on purchasing that kind of insurance. And they didn't know about it. So my then passion turned to not just educating clients, but then educating advisors and educating power partners and educating people to truly understand that there is a revolutionary product that is not your granddad's insurance. It's the insurance of today that allows you access to that death benefit when you need it the most. And so that was the turning point. And like I said, you don't get into the insurance business until the insurance business gets into you. And that day was a turning point in my life. And I stopped going from continue to put out resumes, because I was still doing job interviews early, and people in my family saying, hey, why are you're selling insurance? You just got this degree, now you're selling insurance. This makes no sense whatsoever. But I turned off all that noise. That day, I turned that noise off, and I decided I wasn't listening to it.
Oh, that's so powerful. What a great advice. Just turn off the noise. Because what we do is so honorable.
It is.
It's just it's misunderstood. And here's where I want to make an impact in industries. How do we raise identities of a life insurance agent? You can get a life license and sell final expense and burial and mortgage protection, and you can have a life license and move millions of dollars around and sit in tables with advisors. I have a similar journey where I want to think, how do we go viral? How do I make most impact, right? How do we multiply our efforts? Do one thing and it just keeps going? Because I'm honestly trying to be faster than a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. There is no other competition to me.
Being faster than a heart attack, stroke, or cancer.
Exactly. Every 40 seconds, someone's having a stroke. I'm too late.
Yep.
We're too late, right? But then in the world of social media, why aren't people being more educated? I mean, we're not on the algorithm yet, but we'll change that, right? And when we study, I'm like, hey, who do people trust the most when it comes to financial services? It's not the financial advisor. It's not the life insurance agent. It's the accountant. And when I go to talk to my accountant, she doesn't even know about it.
Right.
I was like, okay, what if I went from like a key person of influence and let them share?
Yeah, we call those power partners.
Yes. And actually, we have similar, like we're calling power partners too. And in that partnership, I started doing wealth seminars with accountants. I had the accountant vouch for what we're doing versus me trying to beat a dead horse and be like, look, it's for real. This guy's going to fall one day. This guy's going to, but.
It comes down to trust, and a business owner that has a good accountant, a individual that has a good accountant, they trust that person to give them honest advice. And going back to what you were saying about how they view financial advisors and insurance agents, whether it's life, PNC, they view them as trying to sell them something.
Yes.
And so versus educating, and I love working with CPAs and attorneys. Early on in my career, they were the deal killers, right?
How do you mean?
Well, because they didn't understand it, the client would take what we proposed to them and take it to their CPA, and the CPA would say, "No, I don't think you should do that." And the only reason they were saying no was, one, that's where they're at in the beginning.
Yeah.
You have to get them off of no. They don't start at yes and go back to no. They start at no, and you got to get them to yes. So what I realized is that it takes education. If I just let the client go and have that conversation, they're missing probably 50% of what I told them, right? So what I want to do in those situations is I want to be introduced to their CPA. I want to now be proactive with those conversations. One, because it's somebody that I might have a potential power partnership with. But two, I just know that helps them to get off of the no. Yep. Right. So having that one-on-one conversation, sometimes without the client in the room, right? So that we can be open, they can be vulnerable in situations where they can literally say to me, I don't know what that is. Can you explain it more? They don't want to say that in front of a client.
True.
Right. So they want to be the all-knowing, the all encompassing of the knowledge. And so they will open up more in those one-on-one situations. So it went from that situation where I was scared of them because of the no and the deal killer thing to what I'm trying to do on an ongoing basis now is to align with them and make sure that they have the knowledge that I'm sharing.
Yeah. And once there's alignment, that's the next,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Then they're calling you saying, "Hey, I got another client.
Yeah.
Hey, I met with this person today."
It's my favorite power partners with the tax strategist. So Insuring Impact, we have this slogan. It goes, Insuring Impact beyond insurance. How do we go beyond? I even changed my IG handle. He used to be ABC Denise XYZ. I just thought it was clever because it was ABCDE. And then it actually says Denise is sexy in it. I was like, that's really cool. I was like, that was so brilliant. I was trying to be simple yet complex, right? Yep. And it was such a brand. Everyone's like, oh, ABC Denise. And I was just like, I'm an adult now. I'm a mom. It's different. And it just hit me. I'm like, really, our philosophy is how do we show people to go beyond their situation, beyond their limitation, beyond their helplessness? And I just switched it to beyond Denise. Right?
That's awesome.
And it's everything beyond me. What can I pay forward as a mother, as a woman, as everything? And so it was just, how do we show people to go beyond insurance? And then we had this idea of how do we go beyond real estate? And then beyond taxes. So the last 2 years, we've been doing seminars on beyond taxes, beyond real estate, showing people how to integrate these industries together because we serve the same clients. We say the same things, but we're giving advice in a silo, which isn't, to me, dangerous.
It is.
It is. But what if we can bring together these micro family offices?
Yep.
The brain trust, the collective genius. And that's what we're really excited to do. And that's, again, it just became an idea and an idea became a movement. And now we're just attracting all the greatest of the minds in insurance and real estate and taxes come together and soon estate and bringing it to middle America. So there is no gap, closing the gap. It's accessibility. Right. And bringing the right resource to middle America, not just a marketing gimmick.
Yep.
Like
not just selling them a policy and then walking away. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to sell you a policy, then help you position it in the right way, help you get the things in place that you need, a will, trust, power of attorney, things of that nature.
All of it.
They just, the vast majority of middle income America just don't do.
They don't. But imagine we come ready and prepared with a team who speak the same language. And like, hey, this is kind of off. And like, it's just, again, no single point of failure. If your accountant, your life agent, your attorney, your real estate person, your mortgage, your financial service team sees the plan, knows it, and is shared, I feel better because, again, I have this weird paranoia. If I don't show up, are they going to be all right? So it takes a team.
Well, that's what we got to do. Continue to show up. Right?
Yes.
Continue to be there. So Denise, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. I really enjoyed learning about your story more, and I can't wait to help you accomplish all those goals.
Oh, I'm honored and excited to be here to share. And I know Alliance Group has goals too, and we're here for it. We're in it to win it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Listen to this interview and more on the Alliance Group podcast.